everybody, guess what time it is? That's right, it's Spirit Times Angel, and today we're going to be talking about conspiracy theories. Actually, it's not going to be more of a conspiracy theory, it's going to be a story thing, specifically on Elf on the Shelf. I couldn't find any conspiracy theories on Elf on the Shelf, basically because they all sounded very stupid. There was just like the normal, like, oh, Elf on the Shelf is watching you, like he's been put in, it's like a government thing, and just the normal. I thought it was kind of boring, like, I don't know, it was like very just like, okay, like we kind of already know that type of thing, and I didn't want to be like repetitive or anything of that nature. So I found this story and it was pretty pretty creepy. So I will tell you it, and you can tell me all of your thoughts. Grandma would always warn me when the Elf on the Shelf was watching to make sure I wasn't bad. Growing up, even when it wasn't over near Christmas, the elf would observe me. The elf would judge me. With my brother and cousins around all the time, it wasn't easy to be good, but I tried. I tried really hard. When I'd make a mistake and be mean to one of them, I felt the elf staring at me. I would remember the moment. I'd picture it waiting until I was in bed, then running and tattletaling to Santa. No matter how much I screamed and sobbed to it, the elf wouldn't answer. It would just watch and wait for me to do something bad again. It knew me too well. On the 4th of July, I burned Marissa with a sparkler. I didn't do it on purpose. I meant to burn Marissa, but I didn't want to hurt her. I just wanted to see what would happen. Unfortunately, she got hurt pretty bad. Grandma had to take her to the hospital, but before she got the belt and whipped me until I couldn't sit down. After Marissa's mom came over to give me a beating of her own, I was left watching Neil, my little brother. Grandma was still at the hospital. Neil watched TV while I tried to walk off the pain from the beatings. Before Dad died, that's what he told me to do. Walk it off, he said. I walked it off. When I got to the living room, the elf was watching me. I knew it was. Its wooden mouth was open, almost like it was screaming. You're a bad kid. No one likes you. Santa thinks you're terrible. You'll be a bad man when you grow up. It actually didn't speak, of course, but it was obvious that's what it meant. It was the same stuff Grandma said to me, day in and day out, and somehow I always made sure to live up to it. Try as I might, I couldn't be good. At the age of 8, I was already certain I was rotten to the core. Months went by, and by best efforts, yield punishments. If I was accidentally knocking over a vase in the kitchen, I was dragging mud into the hallway. I always ended up with my pants around my ankles and my grandfather's old leather belt smashing into me as I tried not to scream. Screaming would only make the beatings last longer. When it was finally over, I inched my jeans and underwear back up. I tried to tell myself it'd be better. I'd be better. That I'd be a good kid from here out. And for a while, for the entire month of November until December, I was. Grandma Neil and I went to go get our Christmas tree on December 4th. We came home and decorated it while cookies baked in the oven. I remember Grandma lifted me up with her strong, solid arms so I could put the star on top. The star had been her daughter's and my mother's. It was one of the only things left that had belonged to her. On December 5th, after Neil and I had gotten home from school, we were playing around. Like all brothers and sisters, we played. Oh wait, they're not brothers and sisters. Like all brothers, we played rough, with him being 6 and me being 8. I was quite a bit bigger. But when we were wrestling and I was spinning him by his arm, I made a mistake. I let him go. I made a mistake. I let him go and set him right into the Christmas tree. It fell on the hardwood floor. Ornaments broke. Lights went out. The stars shattered. In an instant, I was panicking. I knew Neil would tell Grandma. I knew the elf in the other room would learn what I'd done. I'd been so good for so long that I'd start hoping that I might get Christmas presents this year. After this, though, after breaking the one thing that Grandma had left of her after her daughters was killed by Dad. Oh, I didn't even know that, okay. I'd be doomed. Grandma would beat me senseless. The elf would tell Santa I get nothing, and Neil would taunt me with his presents. Something sparked in me. What if the elf didn't see what happened? What if Neil didn't tell Grandma? I was very busy for about an hour. By the time I was done, Grandma would be back by any minute. I knew I might not fool her, but I'd fool the elf. That was the most important. It was he who talked to Santa, not Grandma. I wore Neil's face into the living room and looked at the elf. He stared back with his blue, judgmental eyes. I'm sorry I knocked over the tree and broke the ornament, I said, doing the best impressions of Neil's high voice. Oh my... I thought about his body cooling on the kitchen floor and his blood making a mess everywhere. Maybe Grandma would believe he fell on a knife if I tried hard enough. He is Gosh. Okay. Under the mask of the brother's skin, I peered at the elf through the holes. The skin tasted awful, but I had to breathe through the mouth because the holes would line up right. I wonder if the elf believed me. I'm sorry, elf, I squeaked again. I heard the garage door rising and the car pulling inside. Grandma was home. I felt a new rush of panic. The door connecting the garage to the kitchen opened, and I heard my grandmother's hysterical shriek. Elf, I whispered as tears mixed with my brother's blood cascaded down my face. The elf on the shelf turned its head 360 degrees as its mouth opened and closed. When it faced me again, it spoke. You've been very bad, Neil. I fell to the knees in relief. Some part of me heard Grandma still screaming, somehow even louder, when she came into the room and saw me. Again, the elf spoke. You've been very terrible, Neil. Grandma whirled around and looked at the elf, but then shook her head back and forth like she was trying to get a hold of herself. I stood up, not wanting to ruin the illusion for the elf. I held the mask to my face until I left the room and sat on the kitchen floor. Grandma didn't try to hit me. She didn't touch me at all. I piled the skin back on Neil's head and told Grandma he fell. She didn't answer. It didn't matter though. 20 days later, in my own warm room at the hospital, I got some very nice Christmas presents. The doctors and nurses were so kind and gentle with me. One even hugged me after I opened my gift. The gifts weren't exactly what I hoped for, but they were better than nothing. So much better, I giggled to myself as we hugged. When the nurse asked what I was laughing at, I lied and I told her I remember a funny joke. She smiled, and I was surprised to see a tear running down her cheek. I didn't think of much of it, though. All that mattered was that I'd won. I'd finally fooled the elf on the shelf. Okay. That was interesting. So I really liked it. Like, okay. The fact, like, I didn't expect the brother to, like, cut off his face and try to be him. Oh, just the thought. And then the grandma coming in. Can you imagine? You can't even imagine. You couldn't imagine because that's terrible and that's something that you should do. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe if you haven't already. I post conspiracy theories all the time on Thursdays for my Conspiracy Thursday videos. But this one was a story. Hope you guys didn't mind it too much. I just couldn't find any good conspiracy theories of Elf on the Shelf. The next one could be your comment. If you comment down below what I should do next. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you have not already. Remember, make a thumbs up for the end of the day, but your heart is the same. Love you. Bye.